All right. So good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all here. So we're building up the participants, and we have gone live on YouTube also. And it's a pleasure and privilege to invite our speaker for our next skill development program, Dr. S. Manivanan, who's a founder and managing director for the Kaveri Hospitals. Hello, sir.
Hi,
Yes, sir. Yes, so everything's audible. So please take it because sir doesn't need a big interview because he's very known person, and he's a founder of Medical, and he's founder director of Agile Health, a leading healthcare ERP solution. He's a certified assessor of NABH, and he is a past chairman of the Roundtable of India. He has got Best Doctor Award in 2012. Also, he has got the award by the IMA as a medical entrepreneur for 2018. And without wasting more time, I'm going to invite Dr. S. Manivanan with this. Sir, please take over this case.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi. Yeah, you need to stop sharing, Natesh. Dr. Natesh, you need to stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
Done, sir.
Yeah. Is it visible, Naresh? Hello? Dr. Naresh, is it visible?
It's visible, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible. If I'm not audible, please intimate Dr. Natesh so that we'll see how we can handle it. So, as Nadesh introduced, I'm Dr. Manivanan. I'm the founder managing director of Kaveri Group of Hospitals. I'm basically an anesthetist and critical care physician who started this hospital with my friend Dr. Chandrakumar in 1999. So to briefly say about my journey, this is my journey. Nadesh, is it visible?
Visible, sir. Yes.
Yeah. My journey, I would like to talk about 3 companies which I've started and running. Of course, I've started multiple companies, close to 10 companies, out of which 3 are successful, which is very interesting. I will tell you later also. The first one is Kaveri Hospital. Yes, of course, I hope all of you know about Kaveri Hospital. Kaveri Hospital was started in 1999, almost 22 years back, but by myself and my colleague and good friend, Dr. Chandrakumar, who is the managing director, who is the executive chairman of the hospital, and also along with my dear brother, Dr. Sengituan, who is a pediatrician, executive director of Trichy, Dr. Aravindan, who is the executive director of Chennai, and my beloved friend, Dr. T. Sendilkumar, who is a cardiac surgeon who handles our cardiac unit in Trichy, and other directors, Dr. Vijay Bhaskar and Mr. Selvaraj. We started in 1999 with 30 beds, and slowly and steadily we have grown up to 1,500 beds currently. We have 9 hospitals. As you see in the screen, we have 3 hospitals in Trichy, 1 in Chennai, 1 in Hosur, 1 in Salem, and currently we have 2 in Bangalore and 1 in Tirunelveli. We have 9 hospitals together in 6 cities, and we have close to 4,500 employees. and we have 600 doctors, full-time doctors who are working with us. And of course, it's an interesting journey. Kaveri Hospital is an interesting journey. We are first generation doctors and entrepreneurs. I finished my MBBS from Madras Medical College, did my post graduation in anesthesia from BJ Medical College. So basically, I wanted to do surgery. To be frank, I didn't get surgery, so I got anesthesia. I did my anesthesia training in BJ Medical College, Pune through All India quota. Then came back to Trichy, my hometown, where I was born and brought up. My parents and in-laws were there. I came back to Trichy and started this hospital along with my colleague, Dr. Chandrakumar. That's how we started. We started as a small hospital, 30-bedded hospital, because we didn't have money to start more, actually. We sold our family property. We exhausted our family savings. And with that, we could start only 30-bedded hospital at that point of time. Trichy was a small town, tier 2 town. And most of the patients from Trichy were going to Chennai or Coimbatore or Tanjore for treatment. So we thought, why not we start a hospital in Trichy to cater to patients of Trichy, so that patients from Trichy need not go to Chennai or Coimbatore or Tanjore for treatment. That was the primary idea. And of course, my brother was a doctor, my wife was a gynecologist, so we thought we'll start a hospital. But with 30 beds when we started, it was a very interesting journey. So we didn't have any knowledge about a hospital. We just, like what you say, we jumped into the sea and learned swimming. That's how we started. And we learned how to manage a hospital over a period of time. But the most important thing what we did was, my parents were all from middle class family. My mother was a teacher, Tamil teacher. My father was an electricity board engineer. All they said was, son, whatever you do, you ensure that you maintain the reputation of the family. But we made you a doctor so that you can serve the community. That's very important. That's one thing which I will never forget in my life. So we ensured that all the patients who came to the hospital was treated well, and there was a personal touch to them. The second thing which we maintained was, Trichy is comprised of middle class or lower middle class population, or mostly villages surrounded, which is agricultural based population. With that population, we need to be very cost conscious. We are very, very cost conscious. And the third thing which we ensured was, we're very ethical. This is a hospital promoted and run by doctors. As doctors, we all know that we have been taught how to be ethical in our practice, and we just propagated that idea. We're very, very ethical. No one unwanted investigation, no unwanted drugs, no unwanted surgery, no unwanted admissions. So this way, we ensured that ethical care was given to the population of Trichy, which was affordable as well as with a personal touch. These are the three pillars which Kaveri stands even today after 20 years. Ethical care, personal touch, and cost-effective care. With that, one hospital in 1999, now we have 9 hospitals in 6 cities with 1,500 beds, with 4,000 employees and 600 full-time doctors. One of the very, very few corporate hospitals in India, with a big chain of 9 hospitals, to be run by doctors. Many of the other hospitals will be run by management guys or some business owners, but here is a hospital which is run by doctors, which adheres to ethical standards. That's about Kaveri Hospital. My next journey is, my next entrepreneurship is this medical exhibition. It's India's largest medical equipment exhibition. How I started was, you all know that in our medical curriculum, we are not taught about how to manage hospitals. You have multiple subjects about anatomy, physiology, microbiology, pathology, medicine, surgery, obstetrics, ENT, so many things. But tell me, do you have any subject which teaches you about hospital management? But fortunately or unfortunately, most of us graduate from the medical college, go back to our own hometown, start our own hospital, whether it is a small clinic, OPD clinic, or 10 to 20 bedded nursing home, or 50 to 100 bedded hospital, whatever it is. Most of us do that. But unfortunately, our medical curriculum, at least at that point of time, I don't know, I'm not aware of what's happening now. At that point of time, we never had an opportunity to learn about how to manage a hospital. So raw and fresh from medical college, we started our hospital. You'll not believe that I didn't know anything about managing a hospital. Not only me, my friends and the partners, none of them knew how to manage a hospital. We all learned from our own experience. There are a lot of critical things in managing hospital like finance, HR, or day-to-day operations, asset management, purchase, or whatever it is. But one thing which was very difficult for me was purchase. I'm in charge of my hospital's purchase for the last 22 years. Every year we'll do around 300 crores of purchase in our hospital currently. At that point of time, I found it very difficult to do purchase of medical equipments because a lot of time medical equipment companies do not come to Trichy to explain about their products. We are not aware about it. So what I did was I used to travel around from 99 to 2004. I used to travel around, go to every conferences like obstetrics, critical care, anesthesia, surgery conference. Every conference I used to visit and then find the right equipment, buy for my hospital. But one day I got an email about International Medical Equipment Exhibition in Bangalore. I visited, I found that it was a very good opportunity. Then I organized this exhibition in 2006 in Chennai, where I invited exhibitors, I invited doctors and hospital owners to visit the exhibition, where hospital owners were able to see multiple products at the same place. From there, we have grown. Today, we are close to 28 editions we have done. More than 20 countries, exhibitors come, around 800 exhibitors come. On an average, 15,000 to 25,000 doctors visit our exhibition, which is held in Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Kolkata every year. So the next exhibition is in 29th edition is July 2022 this year, 29, 30, 31st next month in Chennai Trade Center. If you have time, please visit to understand what medical equipment industry is all about. The next journey is the third venture is what's called Agile Health. It's basically a medical software. Most of you, I don't know whether you are aware about it or not. There is a hospital management software which is called HMS or ERP solution, Enterprise Resource Provider, ERP solutions, which is available in any hospital. And your own medical college has got its own software. Any hospital will have its own software. First, when I started a hospital in 1999, that's the first time when I saw a computer. Of course, before that, I have seen a computer in railway station while booking the train ticket. But when we started the hospital, we got computers, but I didn't know what to do with that computer. After 1 year, someone said there is a software called HMS software where you can do billing and other things. Then I installed a software. I learned from that person how a software helps in managing a hospital. Then after 2-3 experiments, we experimented with 4-5 hospital management software. Then along with my friend, I started this Agile Health in 2017. I realized that we need to integrate all the functions of the hospital. Let it be doctor's prescription, nursing notes, operation theater billing, pharmacy, IP and OP billing, radiology, laboratory, inventory, stores, purchase, finance. All these things should be integrated to run a very effective and profitable hospital. So currently, Kaveri Hospital, the entire group runs on this Agile Health hospital management software. And apart from Kaveri, more than 45 hospitals in India, across India, uses this software. It's an end-to-end solution. It's a low-code, quick customizations options are there. That's about Agile Health. Apart from this, all these 3 companies, I started or invested in around another 7 companies. But 7 companies failed, but for various reasons. Okay. So these are the 3 successful companies. Out of 10, 3 succeeded. 30% is success rate, which is very, very high for an entrepreneur journey. I'll cover that later in this talk. Okay. So who is an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur, according to Wikipedia, is a person who makes money by starting or running businesses, especially when this involves taking financial risk. It's a very interesting point. Financial risk is something you invest money, you don't know whether you're going to get returns or not, but still you invest in the business and run the business. As I said, out of 10 businesses, 7 businesses I lost. I took a financial risk, but out of 10 businesses, 3 succeeded. That's a risk which I've taken. That's a benefit which I've got. But my definition is, an entrepreneur is one who identifies a problem in the community and finds a solution. For example, when we started Kaveri Hospital in Trichy, we found that patients from Trichy had to travel to Chennai, Coimbatore or Tanjore for higher end treatment. We found that it was bad. I was born and brought up in Trichy. I learned swimming in Kaveri River. I climbed Rockfort, everything. We have done all those things in Trichy. But when I found that our people are traveling, for example, there is a acute heart attack, but patients have to go to Chennai or Coimbatore or Tanjore to get an angiogram or angioplasty or bypass surgery. That's very sad. So we found that that's a problem. That's how we started a hospital which will provide emergency, secondary or tertiary care to patients. So I'll say we identified a problem. We found out a solution. We'll start a hospital which will provide 24 hours care to all these patients. But we also earn money in the process. That's very interesting. So I'll explain it more in detail. So an entrepreneur is someone who runs a business, take financial risk, identifies a problem, finds a solution, and also earn money in the process. That's what an entrepreneur is. Why doctors are great medical entrepreneurs? If you see there are a lot of numbers, you have a stethoscope over it. The numbers are all very disturbing and it will confuse us. If you put a clinical inputs into these numbers and identify a solution, then probably you are a great medical entrepreneur. I'll just explain it as we go forward. So, what are the qualities of successful entrepreneurs? You have identified, probably you just open your eyes, look around you, even Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan Medical College, your owner is an entrepreneur. He was doing multiple businesses and now he has opened up a medical college apart from engineering college or arts college. I come from the same village as your owner comes. He was an ordinary person. He went out of the village, started some small businesses, expanded it. Now he is into educational field. I visited my village around 7-8 years back. It's a small village. I saw the bus coming from Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan Matriculation School. They sent a bus, picked up students, taught them English or other subjects in their matriculation school. Now they are doing it for medicine. They have opened up another medical college. So he's a great entrepreneur. So what qualities of successful entrepreneurs have? Passion, patience, perseverance, risk-taking, creativity, ethical, people skills, competitive spirit, deep understanding of business, of course, reading more books or learning, continual learning rather. These are the key qualities of successful entrepreneurs. When you start a business, these are the key things for success. I'll explain in detail about each and every character. Passion, patience, and persistence. If you are passionate about something, I've seen many of my colleagues or classmates who wanted to do medicine, who wanted to treat patients, who wanted to change the lives of people in their own hometown where there is no hospital. I graduated from Madras Medical College. Many of my classmates went back to their villages, started their own hospital, passionately practicing even today. More than passion, they had patience. Immediately you start a hospital, clinic, or any business, you will not get success. It will take time. Anything will take time. Today, everything has become instant. You order a food, you get it in 20 minutes. You order in Amazon, you may get it in a day. Or you order in Swiggy, Instamart, you will get it in 20 minutes. But that doesn't work for businesses. You need to be patient. Slow and steady is how businesses grow. Persistent. You need to pursue something which you like. Just because there are some failures or something in between, you should never stop it. You should pursue that. So, if you pursue that in spite of failures or whatever it is, with patience and a lot of passion, you will be a great entrepreneur. Suppose you start a clinic in your native town or a hospital. You go sit in the clinic, you don't expect to get, say, 20 patients in a day. Probably you'll get one patient in a week, first week, then two patients in second week. By end of 2-3 months, you'll get 5 patients in a day. By end of 2-3 years, you'll get 20 patients in a day. Don't just carried away by successful doctors. They have been putting all these efforts for 20 or 30 odd years to come to this level. You don't know how the journey was. They have passionately pursued with a lot of patience and slowly and steadily developed their practice. That's a key ingredient of an entrepreneur. When we started Kaveri Hospital with 30 beds, for many months, We just had 20 patients in a month, which is very difficult to manage. But very persistently, we gave excellent care to all these patients. These patients went out and then told good things about us, and then patients started coming in. After 3 years, then there was a steady flow of patients. That's what made a lot of difference, actually. Okay, sorry. Is it visible, Natesh? Dr. Natesh?
Visible, sir.
Yeah, sorry. So that's very important thing. Patience, perseverance with the passion is a very important part of the entrepreneurship. Another thing is everyone can tell you the risk and entrepreneur can see the reward. If you look at it, a surfboarder sees a big wave. But if you ask him, hey, look, I don't see a risk here. I see an amazing experience here. That is a reward I have. If you see entrepreneurs, when you go to a city, your own town, you talk to your parents and friends, you say that I'm going to start this business, I'm going to start this hospital. First thing they'll say that, look, you have to invest so much of money, but you see that guy started a business, he failed. You see that guy started a business, he failed. But if you're passionate, you have focus, you'll see that, look, I'll sit here, start a hospital or start this business. 5 years down the line, I'll earn more than my friends who were just or employees. Now, very simple. The risk and reward are directly proportional. You take more risk, you'll get more rewards. There is a famous story where someone said that they sent two people to a management guy to a village to sell a footwear, chapel or something, shoe or something. The first guy went and came back and said, look, boss, no one is wearing a chapel there. There is no market. I cannot sell a chapel in this village. The second guy went. He said, boss, no one is wearing a chapel. Huge market. I can capture this market. Look at the way two people are looking at a problem. One guy says this, look, there is a problem that no one is wearing a chapel. I can't win. The second guy says, boss, there is a problem. No one is wearing a chapel. I'll solve. 100% of the people will become my customer. So that's how you look into a problem. The third thing which is very important is creativity. You see that with a scissor, how many images have been created. You got a tool with which you can create a lot of things. Why creativity is very important in an entrepreneurial journey? Because in the last 20 years, when we started in Trichy with a 30-bed hospital, our problems was different. But today, in the same city, Trichy, our problems are completely different. If I am not creative with my solutions, I'll be the old guy finding the same solution. Tamilla சொன்ன போனா அரைச்சமாவே அரைச்சிட்டு இருப்போம். We will not innovate. But you will all understand lot of innovations and changes are happening in the society. Change is the only constant thing. So the entrepreneur has to be very creative. He should find a solution for the problem. In this, someone has given a scissor to the artist, but imagine he has created an owl, bird, old man, cyclist, fish out of the scissor. So you give a problem that this particular community doesn't have a healthcare system. A creative person will create a lot of solutions and become a great entrepreneur. Another important thing is ethical. You need to be very, very ethical in any business you do. Ethical businessmen survive. We have been taught about how to be ethical in our day-to-day clinical practice. Right from day one, we have been taught about ethics. When you come to business, whether it is a non-hospital or hospital business, you run a hospital, there is a multiple choices out there. You either make huge profit in few years by doing unethical practices, but you wait patiently, be ethical. It may take a time, but it will establish your brand image, gain the trust and respect of the people, and it will be a long sustaining business. Healthcare business is not like any other business. You invest money, you earn money. That's not the business which you are in. Healthcare business is you are curing a patient. It's not you are selling a product. You are selling a service. You are actually curing patients every day in and out. If you don't follow ethics, what will happen? The patients will be treated badly, outcomes will be very bad, or unwanted surgery, unwanted investigations will be done on the patients just to increase the revenue. That is not at all accepted in any business, especially in healthcare business. So ethics is very, very important if you are starting a business. We all know that when you start our practice, we know we follow ethics. When you start a hospital or any healthcare business, ethics is very important. Another important thing is people skills. In those days, hospitals were just clinics where doctor was seeing OPD. They have one or two paramedical staffs with them. Beyond that, there is hardly any in private hospitals, very few private hospitals, only government hospitals. They see OPD, refer it to government hospitals. But currently, hospitals have completely changed. If you want to build a 200-bedded hospital in any town, it will cost you minimum 40-50 crores of rupees investment. Not only the investment, you need to have not only one specialty. You may be anesthetist or surgeon or whatever it is. You need to have multiple specialists. Not only doctors, you need excellent nurses. They take care of your patients. Technicians, X-ray technician, theater technician, echo technician, ultrasound technician, lab technician, so many things. You need finance person to manage your finances. You need a human resource person to manage a team. You need an IT guy, information technology guy to manage your software. So many people are involved in the business. It's not the single person run business. It's a teamwork. So if you have to manage team, you need to have people skills. You cannot have a big ego saying that I'm the doctor, I'm the big boss here. No. Everyone is important in this business, including the ward boy or housekeeping person who is cleaning your hospital, preventing infection, maintaining the hospital green and clean. So the entrepreneur needs people skills. People skills are very, very important. If you want to read about emotional quotient. People have been talking about intelligent quotients for last 50, 60 years. Now people talk about emotional quotients as a leadership quality, which talks about people skills. Go back to Google, learn about emotional quotient. You need to have a competitive spirit. A competitive spirit, always we know that in schools or colleges, we have participated in many sports. Why do we participate? We wanted to win the medal, number one, number two, number three, whatever it is. First time you don't win, second time you try, third time you win third place or for second place or first place, whatever it is. That competitive spirit is something very, very important. Why I'm telling you this is, whenever you start a business, there will be a lot of competition. For example, when we went and started our hospital in Chennai in 2012, I was there for 4 years in Chennai. When we started in heart of the city, Alvarpet, 2 kilometers away was Apollo Hospital, 2 kilometers away was Fortis Hospital. Two big hospitals. My friend said, how dare you come and start in the heart of Chennai with two big competitors around you? I said that, boss, I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know that I can win over them. Over a period of time, we have been very successful. But that competitive spirit helped me to overcome the hurdles which I faced in the initial few years. Every time when you start a business, doesn't mean that you will succeed immediately, because there will be a lot of competition before you or after starting your business. Many people will start the same business. There will be competition, but you take it in the right spirit, learn from your competitors, good or bad things, implement in your company, and become a successful entrepreneur. Another important thing is, just like that, you can't start a business. You should know deep into that business. We are doctors. We know what happens to the patient, what drugs are given, what investigations are prescribed to these patients. With great difficulty, non-medical people are learning this in IIM, MBA schools. But we have deeper understanding of that clinical skills. But we should also have a deeper understanding of how the business is run. How do I get investment? What are the expenses? Every month, what is the expense I make? Can I control the expenses? Can I make a profit so that I'll repay my bank loan? A deeper understanding of the business is very, very important in any business. Since we are doctors, we have clinical knowledge which takes care of 70% of this business. Remaining 30% is what you have to learn. Next thing comes from learning, continuous learning. Our medical school doesn't teach about hospital management. It teaches us how to manage patients. But when you're managing a hospital, you require different skill sets apart from your clinical skills. How do you learn that? How I learned 20 years back, there was no management schools, no hospital management course. I learned by visiting many hospitals. I'm a NABH assessor, National Accreditation Board of Hospital Quality Assessor. I assessed close to 100 hospitals from 2007 to 2015 across the country. I learned by visiting those hospitals, and I also learned from reading some good books. Today, the reading skills have come down because we have so many diversions. We have got a lot of movies and online, social media, everything. But I suggest that you learn some good books. You just go online, you get a lot of management books. You just read them. For example, I read this book 15 years back. It's basically from Jim Collins, who is a Harvard Business School professor. This book is amazing. How to be a great organization. His previous book was Built to Last, which I read. It's about successful companies which have lasted for 100 years. 15 years back, I read this. Most of the principles which he has suggested, I have implemented in our organization. I want to make Kaveri Hospital or Medical or Agile a great organization, thanks to these books. I also read this book 15 years back. If Disney ran over the hospital, 9 of things you would do differently. It's an amazing book about service excellence in the hospital. It's a totally different concept. We have implemented all these things in our hospital. Since there is no training, management training for doctors, when I started my exhibition Medical in 2016, Every year, we had a hospital management seminar, which is aptly labeled as everything they fail to teach you in medical college. In medical college, look into these topics which we have discussed. Have they taught about how to build a hospital, how to purchase the right hospital management software? Have they taught you about financial management or how to manage a ICU? Have you taught about branding and marketing or communication in patient to the staffs or financial management, Lean Six Sigma management? All these topics our medical college doesn't teach. That's why I included all these topics in my exhibition under the heading Everything They Fail to Teach in Medical College. It's attended by hospital owners as well as students. They learn from all these things. I learn from every speaker who talks on this. So now we have seen how successful entrepreneurs are. Now we should learn from mistakes also. The common mistakes done by entrepreneurs. If you see, if you 1,000 businesses are started, 1 or 2 businesses succeeds. That's the rule. If you have 10,000 startups, that's a common fashion now today. 1 or 2 startups succeed. What is the other 98 and 99% fail? That's what we have to learn. We have to learn from others' mistakes so that we don't do it. These are common mistakes done by entrepreneurs. They are financially not literate. They don't know what's profit and loss. They don't analyze the businesses, where the patients are coming, how the profit is coming. They have a very short-term thinking. They are afraid of failures. They don't guide the right partners or people around them. And another thing, doctors generally, they think that they are God. They know everything the other guy doesn't know. And they stop learning. So these are the common mistakes done by any entrepreneur. Now we look into how medical entrepreneurs fail actually. If you see, you have been traveling by flight. If you see that the flight takeoff is the most difficult thing in the flight journey. It goes against the air resistance and so many things. Most of the accidents happen during the takeoff. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. It goes against the wind. Normally we say, the ஆட்டு மந்தன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. இப்ப எல்லாரும் டாக்டர் படிச்சாங்க, எல்லாரும் போய் ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல வேலை பார்த்தாங்க, இல்ல எல்லாரும் இன்ஜினியரிங் படிச்சாங்க, எல்லாரும் போய் we can work in some TCS, Infosys. அது normal, going with the wind. Going against wind is, we say, no, I am going to start a business. So it is not easy actually, okay? But if you do that only, you will climb very high. But the most important problem which most of the entrepreneurs have is they are not financially literate. Tell me how many people know how to read a balance sheet, how to read a P&L, profit and loss account, or how many of you know debit and credit and other things? It's not taught in your medical school. But when you become an entrepreneur, when you start a business, you need all those things. You passionately build a business, but you don't know how to manage finances. Most of the hospitals fail because of that. Most of the business fail because of that. So go back. Today, everything is there online. I'll suggest you a book called Romancing the Balance Sheet. Very interesting book, simple. You'll learn about finances for any businesses. So you should become financially literate. Even if you don't start a business, when you want to manage your own personal finances, you would require, okay, I earn 2 lakh money. How much will go for EMI? How much will go for investment? How much I'll spend for my family, children education? All those things you should be financially literate. Please go ahead, learn finances. personal finance and business finance. Everything is available online today. The important thing is lack of business analysis. People don't analyze using the data. We have to analyze where our patients are coming, where our revenues are coming, which is the most common expenses, how I can cut down, how I can improve my revenue, or what my patients are telling about me, what are negative feedbacks or positive feedback, why they give negative feedback, how can I correct it? If you don't do these kind of analysis, you will not succeed. There are a lot of business analytic tools available today, which you can use in your business. Another important thing is short-term thinking. Sir, 28 years achu sir, PG mudichu, 30 years, I want to start a hospital. Within 2 years or 3 years, I want to earn 10 lakhs every month, or I want to buy a BMW or a Mercedes Benz. I want to build a big hospital. I want to go to international holidays. No, that is a very short-term thinking. You will not succeed. You will fall. Have a long-term thinking. Fine, I built a 20-bedded hospital. What I should do, build a 100-bedded hospital. That's how we were thinking. Okay, today we are 30 beds, 90 time. We didn't bother. We never thought we'll build 1,500 beds. We said that, okay, I need to make my patients happy. I need to provide affordable, ethical care to the patients so that I build trust and confidence in my public. If you want to build a trust and confidence, you need to have long-term thinking. Short-term thinking is something I want to make quick money. That doesn't work in any business, especially in medical entrepreneurship. Probably you have seen this movie, 14 Peaks. It's an amazing movie, I think in Netflix or Amazon. You just watch that. This guy climbs 14 peaks, tall peaks in 6 months' time. World record. He's a Nepali Sherpa settled in UK. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is a courage to continue that counts. You start a business, you fail. You shouldn't lose hope. Pursue with passion, perseverance. You will succeed. Once you succeed, that is not final. When we did first hospital in Tiruchi, it was very successful in the first 3 years or 4 years time. We didn't just like that enjoy, take the money, relax. No, we wanted to start a hospital. We went to Chennai, started the second hospital. There was a lot of failures in that second hospital, but we learned, we succeeded. Then from then on, we started another rest of the hospital. Today, we have 9 hospitals. In next 2 years or 3 years, we'll have 15 hospitals in Kaveri. If you take medical exhibition, my exhibition, I was doing very well in Chennai. Then I went and did it in Delhi. I failed, lost a lot of money, but I learned. The next year I did it in Mumbai. I succeeded. The next year I did once again in Delhi. I succeeded. But I learned from the failures. Just because I did well in Chennai for 5 years, I didn't stop. I wanted to expand this so that more people get benefited. So success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's courage to continue doing that. Tell me what drives me at the age of 53. Last 23 years, I've been working in this day in and out, thinking about this, all these 3 businesses. It drives me that every effort of mine will benefit a patient, or I'll recruit more doctors and employ them. When I say that, recruiting more doctors and team members, getting the right partners. Imagine there is a circular hole in that. Do you think that that squarish thing will go inside? No. Only a cubicle or circular thing will go in. You have a vision to build a great hospital. You have to get the right team member. Let it be finance guy, let it be doctor, nurse, or whatever it is. If you don't get the right team member, your goal will not be achieved. As I told you very earlier, team building is very important. If you fail, your company will fail. That's very important. You should learn how to identify the right partners. Let it be financial partners or your doctors or nurses or whatever it is. Another important thing is the ego, which says that, hey, I know. It's about lion and tiger, who's the king of the jungle. Hey, I'm the boss. I know everything. Who are you to tell me? If some business guy or finance guy comes and tells you, boss, I think we are making a wrong investment, we'll fail. Hey, I'm a doctor. I know everything. No, we don't know everything. Do you think that just because we have done an undergraduate MBBS degree, we know everything? We know everything about cardiology, hematology, vascular surgery. Do you know everything? No, we don't know. Even after become 10, 20 years of practice, do you know everything about medicine? No. We just hardly know 5 to 10% about medicine. Similarly, about businesses, we don't know everything about business. We should ensure that we keep knowledgeable people around us and allow them to do their job. Shed your ego. The person who is very egoistic will not be a great businessman. Take it. The person who is very egoistic will not be a great businessman. The commonest mistake which people do is after 5 years, done. I know everything about this business. I'm the boss in my own city or town. I'm the number one hospital. I'm the number one doctor. Doesn't mean that you know everything. You don't stop learning. If you're practicing medicine, if you're practicing only medicine, you're a specialist. Keep attending conferences, workshop, upgrade your skills. If you are managing a business, travel across, see multiple business, see how people succeeded, see why people failed. Learn from experiences, learn from books. Today, everything is online. You need not buy books also. You buy in Kindle, you just Google, you search it, you learn. Don't stop learning. If you stop learning, you are going to fail. Another most important thing is, I want to start a hospital to make a money. That's a wrong thing. I want to start a hospital so that I build a big house or I want to buy a BMW car. No. You start a business to make a difference in the society. I'm from a poor town. I'll go start that hospital there. I'll ensure that the people around my community get the right healthcare in my town. You make a difference, but also you will make money. That's a very important thing. Another thing is, you entrepreneur. There are thousands and thousands of doctors coming out of medical college every year. Not everyone has got the opportunity or skills to start the hospital. For example, in my batch of 180 students in Madras Medical College, around 20 to 25 of us started our own hospital. Rest of the people work in abroad or India in different hospitals. Sir, you have been talking about entrepreneurship. I work in a hospital. I can't start. I don't have money to start. I cannot take risks. What's the use of learning about entrepreneurship? Become an intrapreneur. Entrepreneur is outside, intrapreneur is inside. You are, suppose you are a surgeon or you are an anesthetist or you are a gynecologist in a big corporate hospital. You can put all your ideas and efforts into that department, make that department best department in your hospital. You can build a good team, you can get the right equipment, you can bring profitability to the hospital, you can teach youngsters, and you can take care of your patients, customer engagement, everything, and run a department like a business. Successful entrepreneurs can happen. So don't worry that you can't start a hospital or business. You can be a great entrepreneur within that organization. Suppose you are employed in a corporate hospital, you are a gynecologist. You say that, look, I cannot or I don't have the mindset to start a hospital. No worry. This particular department where I am employed or working, I'll ensure that this is the best department in this region. Then you are an entrepreneur. So next is, what are the opportunities for healthcare entrepreneurs? 30 years back, doctors never had an option. Either they go start a outpatient clinic or go join a government hospital to do it. So in the last 3 decades, healthcare in India or in the world has changed, where a lot of doctors or a lot of private hospitals have come, which are supplementing the government hospitals. And the private hospitals have mushroomed in many cities, and they deliver excellent tertiary quaternary care. For example, the liver transplant, cardiac transplant, kidney transplants mostly don't happen in government hospitals, it happens in private hospitals. They've done extremely well. But in the changing scenario, what are the opportunities for healthcare entrepreneur? Number one is in healthcare delivery. Go back, sir, I don't have money. I'm not with a great background. As I told you, I also didn't have a great background. My mother was a Tamil teacher. My father was a government employee. I also didn't have a great background. With 4 of my friends and partners, I started a small hospital. You say that I don't have partners. Okay, done. Go start a small clinic. Then slowly build up into hospitals or healthcare chains. It could be a small OPD clinic or 10-bedded clinic or 50-bedded to 100-bedded small hospital or a 200 to 1,500 bedded big hospital chain. There are opportunities available. The other opportunity is healthcare IT, which I've been telling about my software company. Lot of things are happening in healthcare IT. It could be a software company, artificial intelligence. Lot of research has been happening in artificial intelligence. You see healthcare IT companies most of the time, the software engineers develop the software and doctors use it, which is very difficult to use it. If a doctor is part of the development of software, he understands clinical medicine, he understands pain points of the doctor and nurses, he understands the patient needs, so he will develop a better software. It need not be regular softwares, it could be some artificial intelligence or some B2C software, which I will tell later. Such kind of a software will definitely make impact. Currently, there is a lot of interest in healthcare IT. Another thing is B2C, business to consumer. It's something very interesting concept where I don't know whether you are aware about Practo, Portia. The Practo is a company which offers doctor's appointment, and they have attracted a lot of investments. They've got a lot of revenue. There's something called Portia, who talks about, who does a lot of business in home healthcare. And there is another company called Pristine Healthcare, which does only elective surgeries. There are a lot of hospital and healthcare startups. Just go to Google, type healthcare startup. Go deep into every company, businesses, understand what they are doing. There are a lot of interesting opportunities available. Then another thing is healthcare supply chain. Supply chain is nothing but an equipment company manufactures ventilators or monitors. It goes to the distributor. From distributor, it goes to the hospitals and doctors. Or someone is manufacturing medicine in North India. It goes to the distributor, goes to every doctor. This is called supply chain. There is a huge opportunity in this. In industries, other industries, supply chain is a mature industry. Whereas in healthcare, supply chain is very, very nascent stage. It's in a neonatal stage. If you learn that, you can do that and you can succeed. These are the opportunities which I am aware about it. But a lot of opportunities can be available apart from this. Keep exploring. Google is there or anything. Go attend medical conferences, management conferences. For example, I told you about the conferences in medical exhibition. You attend, you will know what are the other opportunities available. Why India needs more entrepreneurs? Very simple, sir. ஏன் சார் டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்றீங்க? நான் பாட்டுக்கு ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல ஜாயின் பண்றேன், ஒரு டீசன்ட் salary earn பண்றேன். I have my weekends, I enjoy, and I do all those things. And I enjoy. Why should I start all these things? Struggle. You say that only 1 or 2% succeed, remaining people fail. எங்க அப்பா காசு என் காசு எல்லாத்தையும் போட்டு ஃபெயிலியர் ஆகணும். ஏன் சார் பண்ணணும்? Why should I do that? You ask. Why this country needs more entrepreneurs? India has been an agricultural based population. Slowly industrialization came, and later information technology, IT, software engineers got us great reputation to the country in national and international market. But now when you look into it, other developed countries like China, Germany, or Taiwan, that way, they have done extremely well. Just leave alone the rich countries like UK or US. But these countries have done extremely well because the citizens, the country encouraged a lot of entrepreneurs. There are a lot of problems to be solved in this country. Last month, I was in UK to meet my friends. A lot of my friends are there in UK. I was there for 10 days. I visited UK, multiple hospitals I visited. Everything is very streamlined in that country. I visited US also. America is also a very stable country, developed country. The roads are good. The hospitals are good. They get whatever they want. Okay. But in India, there are a lot of problems we have. So we are the one who have to create solutions for these problems. Imagine, we all use today Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, whatever it is, Google Pay or whatever it is, or Phone Pay, Paytm. These guys addressed a problem. 10 years back when I wanted to travel to Chennai, it was so difficult to get a cab. I have to depend on the auto drivers. When few years back I got Ola, I got an app, booked an auto or a cab. I just travel anywhere. And I was living bachelor's life whenever I travel. Food was a big problem. Today I can get food from Swiggy or Zomato anytime, 24 hours with the choice of your restaurant. You do Paytm, Google Pay or everything. Earlier, paying money was you were using cash or credit card. Today, you just casually transfer fund to these people. Who created all those things? Entrepreneurs created that. They struggled, found out a solution. They implemented, got investments, expanded. They did all these things. That's why today we are living a comfortable life when compared to our parents. If you want to make life of Indian citizens healthy and happy, as doctors, you need to look into medical entrepreneurship. If you have an opportunity, I'm not telling that everyone should start or can start. If you have an opportunity, please do it. It's our duty to change the way our people are living. All of us talk about patriotism. We think that if you sacrifice your life in the army or border fighting with Pakistan, China, that's what patriotism. Okay, that's an army person's job. As a doctor, what can I do? If I change the life or health of people in my community, then that's what patriotism is. So as India need more entrepreneurs, as doctors, we need to do that. Imagine in COVID, India supplied vaccines to the world because of there's one or two entrepreneurs who developed the Serum Institute guy who developed vaccines. Last 20 years, they have been supplying. They brought us a lot of pride to the country. Like that, Indian doctors do amazing work in US and UK. We should do the same kind of research innovation here to improve the health and life of our people. India needs you, good doctors, good medical entrepreneurs. Okay, sir, you have told all these things. Any of my medical curriculum doesn't teach me how to become an entrepreneur, how to manage a hospital, how to manage finances, how to manage my team or customer care, IT. I don't know anything. What can I do, sir? Should I do MBA? If you ask me, did I do MBA? No. 20 years back, there was no MBA in hospital management. I learned swimming by jumping into the sea. Imagine you don't know swimming, you are just thrown into the sea or a well or a swimming pool. Automatically you learn. That's what human spirit is. That's how I or my colleagues learned. Doesn't mean that all of you have to do the same thing. The last 20 years, world has changed, India has changed. Today, most of these things are available online. Yes, if possible, do an MBA. Earlier, MBA was available only when you have to go there, sit in the management college for 2 years and learn it. But today, online MBAs are available from world-class institutions across the country for a meager cost. Go after MBBS, finish your postgraduate degree, simultaneously do an online MBA from any of the reputed institution. You will learn most of the things you will not understand. When you go back and practice, then you will learn and understand. Relearn management principle. When doctors become the managers of their own hospital, we'll be able to deliver ethical care, which is also profitable. Why should we work under a manager who has not done a MBBS, who doesn't have clinical knowledge, who has done some MBA from a good institution? A doctor can. Do you think that MBA is difficult than your pathology or anatomy or your surgical specialty? No. MBA is easy. Actually, managing business administration is easy. So have that attitude. Keep your eyes and ears open. You look for opportunities. Be a great doctor. Learn how to manage businesses. If you get an opportunity to start your own business, please do start. India needs medical entrepreneurs like you, and to make this country a superpower, we need guys like you. So thank you all. Have a great entrepreneurial journey for every aspiring student. And I had a great student life in Madras Medical College or BJ Medical College. My teachers taught me a lot. My friends and colleagues taught me a lot. And I'm hope you're also having a great time in your undergraduate or postgraduate degree. But entrepreneurial journey is something which I like to wish you a great entrepreneurial journey. If you have any doubt, my email ID is here, drmoney@kaverihealthcare.com. Please mail me, or you can just get my connect from Dr. Natesh, and he will connect for you. I'm more than willing to guide you or support you in your future entrepreneurial journey. Thank you. Thank you, Natesh.
Thank you, sir. So, yes. Take this out. So last time I was hearing one of the wonderful lectures from you. We had a meeting at somewhere in Sangam, I guess. You were talking about good to great. So a great inspiration for me. And now it is kind of more of a learning for me to see how you have evolved all these years. I still remember like when I was a kid, how Kaveri was and how today Kaveri is now. So from KMC Heart City, taking over the AIMS, COS hospitals. And now Kaveri has become one of kind of next to GH name. If somebody wants something at any time, they tell like you go to Kaveri, there'll be someone over there. But what we see behind that is how, as a initial small team of doctors, you have managed to build a whole thing here in Chennai, everything. So I have a few questions from my students, but I would like to give the chance to the audience here so they can unmute themselves. They can ask you some questions if they're willing to.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
So anyone who can unmute, let me know.
So can I ask something?
Please,
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, it was so wonderful to hear you speak. And I'm myself going through the same doubt. Okay, why should I work for someone and should I not start my own thing? And in that, but so just one doubt. Okay, when a manager manages something, and as a doctor, if I start and I'm building a big team, for other doctors who join my team, they may get the same thought. Why should I work for a doctor? Why should I not work on my own? So how is management run by doctors slightly different from management run by MBA? And my second question is for Kaveri hospitals in particular, for the new doctors who join, do they also feel they own it, or how are things? Can I know that?
Very interesting question, doctor. Tell me, what are you doing now currently?
Sir, so currently I am a psychiatrist and I am working on treating people with vaginismus. So it's relatively something very difficult, and people from across the country come to us. So that is one thing. And the second thing is therapy is something which is very difficult. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So, doctor, the first question. You have started a hospital. You have employed around 20 doctors. So, why should the doctor work under you? You should also start a hospital, a business. Simple question. Of course, when we started a hospital, few doctors went out, they started their own hospital or left us. As I said, there is a difference between successful entrepreneur and an entrepreneur. Okay. Not everyone can become successful. Of course, people working under you will have a feeling that, okay, Dharav Shah is started a hospital. He is making so much of money. Why shouldn't I start a hospital? Why should I should work under him? But as I said, not everyone has got the entrepreneurial spirit. 100 doctors come out. Doesn't mean that every doctor start a hospital, start a business. That's not possible, actually. Okay. Everyone doesn't become a Narayana Murthy. Okay. So there are few people who do that. The rest of the doctors work in that hospital, actually. But as you asked, what is the difference between working under a doctor and working under a manager? Shah understands what a doctor thinks. Okay. Whereas a manager will not understand. Suppose, for example, we have doctors, one neurosurgeon came and said in 2004, when we started a hospital, doctor, I need a microscope for my neurosurgery. I said, yeah, we should have. He said the microscope cost 35 lakhs. In 2005, 35 lakhs was a huge money. I said, doctor, 35 lakhs microscope, do you require, there are microscope available for 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, can we go? He said, no, Dr. Mani, you know that I'm a neurosurgeon trained in CMC Vellore. I need to operate on the neurofibromas or complex tumors. I need to I need this equipment to operate. Otherwise, whatever I got trained will be waste. Then immediately we had a discussion internally. We thought, okay, we have started the hospital. We wanted to position our hospital in a bigger level. We wanted complex patients to come us. So if you don't invest in this microscope, my surgeon will not operate on the brain tumors and get the patients. I'll not get the reputation. Of course, the microscope never gave us any profit. But the 2 or 3 patients or he operated in a month gave us huge reputation, and we brought in other patients. So as a doctor, I understood. If you talk to a manager or a non-medical person, you'll think that no doctor, 35 lakhs, no return on investment, I can't buy it. So that is a difference which the doctors will feel that when they are working under a doctor rather than under a manager. So this is what I answer to your question, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So let me ask you questions.
Yeah.
First, let me ask you a few questions which I received from others, then ask my questions.
Yeah.
So, how do you develop this problem-solving skills to become an entrepreneur? Because you have mentioned in the talk that to identify a problem, so how to solve the problem. So, how do you invest in your thinking, sir? This is my question on this.
How do you identify a problem? So basically, you interact with your community. Say, suppose you are doing a MBBS or postgraduate degree. You decide that, okay, I'll go and settle in my native place, or I'll settle in another place like Chennai or whatever it is. You interact with people there, your seniors or people already practicing there. You just go and interact. You talk to them. You will find out that, okay, this particular city doesn't have a surgical hospital. This particular city doesn't have a critical care hospital. This particular city doesn't have an MRI, but we send 50 MRIs every month to the nearby town. You understand the problem. Or you go and start the practice in your town in a small way. I start a clinic in my own town. Once I start, I will understand what the problem the city has. I have a cardiac patient, a heart attack patient, but I don't have a cardiologist or a cath lab in my town. I send it to Chennai, but half of the patient die on the way to Chennai. That's a problem you identify. So you go talk to the people who are already there in that particular area, or you go start your practice, you will automatically understand what the problem is. Keep your eyes and ears open. Understand what's happening around you, then you will identify a problem.
So the following thing was my question for that, because once you identify, because you've been told to come and think over it. So how do you practice that and how do you implement it?
Think over it is, say basically identify a problem. Say there are a lot of problem solving techniques which management school trains you, or even any practical person with a common sense will know how to solve a problem. Okay. You face day-to-day problems in your education or in your family. You identify the root cause of the problem, why this problem has occurred, is there a solution for this, and what are the challenges in that solution, how I can overcome that, whether I can overcome on my own or get some partners, get some investments I can overcome. Okay, I tried this, tested this, I failed this, so I go in a different direction, I succeed. That's how you find solutions, actually. You deep dive into a problem, understand a solution, try it. Very rarely you succeed in the first time. When you fail, you learn. Every failure should teach you. Every failure should not make you depressed. It should teach you how to manage this. So if you do that, you will find the right solution for the problems.
The second one, what they've asked is, how do you manage time and stress?
Managing time and stress. So probably I wanted to share a few photographs of my trekking experience and other travel experience. I didn't do it. So I manage 9 hospitals. We are 1,000 crore turnover company, 1,500 beds, 4,000 employees, 700 doctors. I manage it, but still I continue to travel, continue my passion. I love playing tennis. I love doing Himalayan treks. Every year I do a Himalayan trek. I travel to multiple countries. I've traveled to 15 countries so far. I love reading books. I watch one movie every day, variety of movies, other languages, international languages. I do all those things. And I love cooking. I cook for my family or children once in a while, or most of the time cook for myself. How do I manage my time? Yes, basically, if you want to do everything on your own, if I say that I know everything, so I'm the best person to do this job, then you will continue to do that job. But if you surround yourself with capable people, I have capable people around me who can do their job, because I don't know much about finances, but I have a very great chief financial officer. We have around a 30-member financial team who takes care of the finance of the company. I know a little bit about information technology, but I have a 40-member developer team who develops my software. I have great nurses who take care of my patients. Every department is headed by a senior doctor or experienced doctor who takes care of the department. So I surround myself with people who are knowledgeable, who are committed, who are passionate. They take care of the business, I take care of them, so that I get enough time for my own passions and I pursue them.
This would have happened only in due course, no, sir. Because I have heard in the initial days where you have compromised by even seeing your first daughter now, because I've heard you saying that when the initial days where a Kaveri was being built, in those times, how did you manage stress? Because nowadays what we are seeing is doctor being burned out, depression, MI, suicide. So give some tips on this.
So that's why I said, if you are passionate about something, that's what I learned long time back. Yeah, if you are passionate about something, if you are passionate about something, you need not work for your lifetime, actually. Okay. I've been passionate about medicine. I never felt I was working for someone or working for something. I do something in a day. I always felt happy at the end of the day that, wow, I saved this patient. Wow, I taught this nurse how to intubate. Wow, I did this. That was amazing. Of course, there was few sacrifices you have to do. My family suffered in the initial 10 years, but no pain, no gain. You have to undergo some pain, then you gain. Of course, first initial years is difficult. Then later, of course, you'll get the rewards for all your hard work.
Because next, a following question is like it is based on the passion. Someone asks, how do you manage passion and the money flow? Because once there is a money flow, and once you're stuck with money flow, then you might be able to forgo your passion. I don't know how to manage that.
Yeah, okay. That's an interesting question. Say, someone is very passionate. Say, we have seen doctors or whatever other entrepreneurs who are passionate about something. So I'm very passionate to deliver the great healthcare to. Well, I'm telling you an example. I'm a doctor coming out of college, postgraduate degree. I come to my native town. I say that I'm very passionate about delivering great healthcare or giving a tertiary care to my people. You go to a small town and you start a big hospital. You equip everything with great equipments. You get some loan from the bank. Got the best of the equipments because you are trained in a very good hospital. You come back, try to replicate the same setup here. And you find out that the patients are not affordable. They can't pay for all these things. You are passionate, but you are not running the business in the right way. The same thing, You find sometimes that you get a lot of money from something else, the business, but you are not doing something passionate about it. So you need to make a choice. For me, money is a byproduct. My passion and my profession is the main product. If I do that properly, systematically, with some financial knowledge, money is a byproduct. I'll get good money. So you need to balance this passionate, your profession, your finance or business. You need to balance in the right way. Otherwise, you tend to fail.
And if you ask like how to manage between being a good clinician, that is a surgeon or physician, and being an entrepreneur, not on a large scale, on a small scale, because sometimes these stress might be confounding their decision making skills. I believe that is where the intention is there.
So one thing is, a good clinician is, say, basically, when I keep telling that, of course, the last 10 years, I'm not practicing anesthesia or critical care medicine. But before that, I was practicing anesthesia and critical care medicine. Every day, I used to spend 8 hours in practicing medicine, minimum 8 hours. I used to handle emergency, ICU, theater, cath lab, or whatever it is. I've done everything. But when I was handling all these patients, I have a deeper understanding of what my patients require, deeper understanding of what my staffs require, how I can manage my staff, how I can make the life of my doctor have easy, how I can deliver affordable healthcare but still make profit. I learned because I managed patients. I was actively practicing. What I would suggest is continue a practice. At the same time, explore business opportunity in related field. Slowly wean off a practice if the business develops well. Okay. If possible, 20% practice, 80% business will make you a great entrepreneur. Okay. Over a period of time. Initially, it is 100% clinical practice, later 90% and 10% business, 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, whatever it is. After you become a successful businessman, but still keep in touch. Even today, I do physical rounds. I do see patients. I don't manage patients. I do see patients. I interact with doctors. I understand their problems. And that's how I'm able to successfully run this.
So this is from my side, like how to teach students on these skills, because is it so compulsory that should be put into the medical curriculum?
Say, we can't decide what is going to be in medical curriculum. It's MCA or whatever. That's what they decide, actually. We can't actually decide. But at least we can motivate our students in our day-to-day rounds or whatever it is. You can tell examples about successful entrepreneurs, not only in medicine. Apart from medicine, you can talk about as a teacher, you can teach your students about how medicine is or how businesses are run. You can give them some interesting links, and probably you can arrange for interactions with entrepreneurs. Someone who is interested in starting a hospital, starting a business, you can arrange for interaction with those entrepreneurs so that these people will learn what are the benefits and pitfalls of entrepreneurship. Some people may take it and succeed. So these kind of interaction will be useful. If our medical council decides to put this as a curriculum, probably I think that a lot of things are changing. We may soon get entrepreneurship as a part of the curriculum. If you get it, nothing like that. If you don't get it, probably you have to try alternate routes.
Because nowadays in this CBME curriculum, we are bringing in skill sets. So
yeah,
management should be brought as one of the skill sets to the students.
Very true. You manage your department. First, teach them how to manage a department to the students. You have a department as surgery head or whatever it is. They should be taught how to manage that particular department. Managing a department is not managing patients alone. Managing the resources, how to keep my ward or whatever it is clean, neat, how to train my new nurses, how to train my new postgraduates, how to make them academically important, how to team play, how to reduce attrition. All those things are managing particular department. That you can teach beyond your curriculum.
I'll discuss with the management, sir. So maybe we can discuss with you or Kaveri, and we can have some programs for our students, at least when
Definitely.
they're pre-finalists and final years, where they can interact with the department heads over there, learn the essence.
Absolutely. We'll be very happy to interact with your students.
Thank you, sir. Because we want to create some kind of an model where we can tell to other colleges where there can be an interactive platform. Because what I'm seeing is there is less amount of interaction between the colleges and the multi-specialty hospitals. There has to be some kind of interaction should be there.
Now, if you take other industry, there is industry academia interactions.
Collaboration is there.
That keeps that
there, everything
alive.
is there. But in medical curriculum, it is not there. Like it is always a segregation. Where hospitals or multi-special hospitals are being seen only as a money-making business, and college being only teaching, because both has to be together. That is where the
very good.
true life is.
Very good. The thought process is very good, Dr. Natesh, actually. So I'm really happy that people are thinking in that angle. So people in teaching hospitals say that the corporate hospital don't do anything. They swindle money or make money. The corporate hospital people or the hospital people think that teaching hospitals don't do anything. They teach theory. No, both are very, very doing amazing jobs in the community. And we need to bring both of them together so that the students get benefited.
So some could have a common platform. I'll discuss with my team because this sounds very interesting for executive work.
Yeah, sure, Dr. Nadesh, sure.
Sir, one last question from my side. Handle a single person clinics or a single person healthcare and bring it to a next level because you experience, you have seen someone. Because nowadays people think only medical entrepreneurship is big hospitals. Because what I believe is entrepreneurship is solving a problem, as you told. And how can a single person clinic or a single specialty clinics which can evolve into that?
So as I said that it is not entrepreneurship doesn't mean that you have to build a big hospital, multi-specialty or multiple chain. No, that's not right. That's when a few people, there are few opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities. You are a single specialty. For example, I remember my friend who was a dermatologist who just migrated to the cosmetology. Actually, he did an amazing job. It's a small clinic, actually, 10,000 square feet of clinic. He started with 2,000 and 10,000 square feet, and then lots of laser surgeries, a lot of work. And he works from 9 to 500, 9 to 6. Getting an appointment is so difficult, actually. Like that, I've seen, say, another friend of mine who is a physician who is trained in cardiology, is not a cardiologist. So he's a family physician for a very light group of patients in Chennai. For every patient, he charges, every consult, he charges 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. But patient, there's a waiting list because he gives a lot of time to the patient. And also he offers steady consultation or so many things, actually. So he is a very successful entrepreneur. So it could be a small clinic. For example, it's a single specialty. You can do a lot of patient awareness through digital media, social media. A lot of social media awareness can be done. When you do all those things, then you can build up your practice, continue to have a good practice in spite of competition. So I think definitely, if you have a single specialty, you can do very well. Use multiple channels to improve the service or get in more patients.
Thank you, sir. So we have one question from Dr. Amita. And she's asking how difficult it is for a non-clinician to open a hospital.
It's not difficult. A lot of non-doctors have opened a hospital that did successfully. But
non-clinical doctors, sir.
Yeah, non-clinical doctors. Clinical or non-clinical medicine doesn't make much of a difference. You are a microbiologist or a pathologist or whatever it is. You understand basics of medicine. So it is so easy to understand the other specialists. For example, I'm an anesthetist. I don't know most of the other departments. To be frank, I haven't conducted even a single delivery during undergraduate days. I haven't done a single surgery in ENT or ophthal, but still I have doctors who are doing amazing work there. I handle them. So that's not a difficult. Non-clinical doctor, say today, non-clinical doctors, actually my pathologist is actually doing an amazing job in managing infection control, in quality, NABH. They are involved in everything actually. So non-clinical doctor is not a handicap for you to start a hospital. In fact, it is actually, no, in fact, it is good actually, because if you're a practicing physician, you will be busy with OPD or IP or surgery, whatever it is. If you're a non-clinical, you can actually restrict your practice and spend more time on administration. You could do very well.
Because myself being a pharmacologist, I was introduced to you. So my 1 year stint at Kaveri was a great learning for me with the subject as well as the culture. Because way I train my staffs, I tell them think big. We're not a small clinic, because we want to think big as if patients come to us. So we want to give the same care how they enter the Kaveri Hospital. So that is why I train my staff, because I manage around 5 to 6 staff here. So they get the same vibes, but again, they need a mentorship, they need a proper guidance. And
very true.
That is true. I had a good mentor, and I met you once, twice, like at a chamber also. So, and it was a great thing for me then. Anyways.
Good. Happy to hear that, doctor.
Thank you, sir. So we have gone through a lot of things, because few questions we answered already, so I'm not going to repeat it for the sake of the time. Thank you so much, sir. So it was a pleasure having. I mean, it's a busy schedule. And one thing I want to mention to my audience, and everywhere you see Dr. Like Marian sir, he'll be so simple and humble. The moment I saw in the airport, simple people, there was one of his senior colleagues asking, why you are wearing a formals? We're going for a tour. So then they lose the identity then. Be very casual. So that is why I think your mind is so cool. I mean, it's all your busy schedule. So it was a learning moment for me in the airport, at the airport.
I remember. In Chennai
simple
airport.
Simple chappal with a bag. No one can notice it like it is you. 1,000 crore worth company. People think you should always be a director with suits and big things.
Good. Happy that you remembered that, Nadesh.
Thanks for joining, sir.
Thank you. I'm very happy to interact with all these participants. Any kind of further interaction, I'm willing to talk to them one-to-one also. You can always write to Dr. Nadesh and he will connect you with me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye, Nadesh. Bye, Nadesh.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Yeah.